It's time for Record Time with Chris. That's me. I'm Chris from Bull Moose, and today I want to share with you two Ben Folds 5 and Ben Folds records that are coming out through Analog Spark. Um, Now, Analog Spark is a newish audiophile label. They've just been around for a couple years, but um, everything I've heard of theirs sounds fantastic, and these are just great. We'll talk about the sound quality a little bit later. First, I just want to show you what we've got. So they are on these nice heavy stock, um, nice heavy cardboard. And as you can see on Reinhold Messner, um, there's the back, and we've got the liner notes blown up, slightly bigger, I think, than they might have been in the CD, possibly a little easier to read. And the other one is, like I said, Songs for Silverman. Here we are. Again, it's on that same heavy, heavy cardboard. And who's walking around upstairs? But it's not in a gatefold. What they've done is they took the liner notes really wouldn't work in a gatefold, so they printed them kind of in this thing with like 4 panels on each section, and they look nice crisp images. This record happens to be clear, and it's a really good clear. It's not the least bit milky. In fact, it's almost like the part where the run out groove is here. It's almost looks like glass. It's so clear. Now, so when are they coming out? Well, the red and the clear ones are indie exclusives that will be available March 21st at your local independently owned store. It's kind of the same group who are involved with Record Store Day. If your local store does Record Store Day, check with them about these. But if you miss out on the colored one, which is possible because there are only 500 of each, you can get black vinyl on that Friday, March 24th, and that's a wide release. That'll be available everywhere, so no sweat. I know sometimes if you miss out on the color, it's tempting to skip the black, but these sound so good that if you like this music, then you really will be very pleased with these. So let's talk about the sound quality. First of all, I know that Analog Spark had a couple different sources available for each of these, and naturally they chose the better sounding one. They had the lacquers cut by one of the absolute best people in the world. His name is Kevin Gray, and he's one of the very few go-to people when you want a really great sounding record. So naturally, Analog Spark hired him. They had these pressed at RTI, which is one of the pressing plants that kind of specializes in better quality control. So let me tell you, these were nice and flat, perfectly, almost like I can't remember any pops at all when they came out, which is great. Very pleased. And I will tell you that Wednesday morning I spent some time comparing the original CD to this pressing, and let me tell you, the record sounds right to me. It sounds good. Um, the CD actually sounds really nice, and the difference between the two. Well, you know how sometimes a record can be just a touch murkier than a CD. Well, when I was comparing these, that as far as just the overall sound quality, it was really similar. Nothing, probably just because they just did such a nice job in the production. The records seem to be a little more dynamic, both on a large scale and a small scale. So what I mean by large scale is the fact that if you think of like the first song, how it starts out really pretty, it's simple. It's piano, vocals, and not distorted, just plain electric bass. But then there are a couple points in there where it gets the drums are really going, uh, and the bass, is using fuzz, like turns on the distortion pedal. So um, it's a much thicker sound. So the thing is, on the CD, um, it just gets denser. But on the record, it actually gets louder there. And I think the thing is, if you had seen Ben Folds 5 play this live, they would be louder in that section. So the record's a little closer to what I think that they had intended to do. Now, on a smaller scale, sometimes you can feel like, especially with like prog metal. So some of the bands like to really crush the dynamics and have it the same volume all the way through, like even on a teeny scale, like in one measure, all the way through. So the guitar just fills all that space. Um, this is the opposite of that. The music really breathes just from like millisecond to millisecond, and instead of that kind of claustrophobic feeling that I get when I listen to even prog bands that I like, sometimes overdo it for my ears. This is just really relaxing, and it's very nice. So, um, you know, congratulations to Kevin Gray for another great sounding record. Oh, and there's another thing that's impressive about this is that they are going to retail for in like $25 range. Um, as you may know, a lot of times the fancy mastering, RTI or QRP or one of the higher end pressing plants with 180 gram vinyl. Lots of times, uh, that those approach like $30. So somehow they managed to keep the cost reasonable. So another good reason to check these out. But if you're if you like these albums, if you like the music, you're really going to enjoy these, and I highly recommend them. So, hey, I'll be back with some other records I want to tell you about some other time, or maybe some other weird things. But for now, you can look forward to these Ben Folds releases in a few weeks. Take care.